fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Simpsons living room diorama from Jakks Pacific. Now this is meant to be used with the 2.5 inch figures that they're doing right now, and it does come with a Homer, as you can see right there. My guess is this is going to be the exact same Homer from the separate boxed 2.5 inch figure line, as well as the one that was included in the family multi-pack, but I'll do a comparison a little bit later on. So this is kind of cool. I was hoping for playsets for this line. Whenever we have smaller figures, I feel like that always lends itself well to vehicles and playsets, and so I was really hoping for some playsets for this line. This isn't exactly what I was looking for, but it's not bad. It's kind of like a little diorama. It looks like there's going to be a couple of actual plastic pieces as well as this cardboard backdrop, so we'll see how it holds up. But I was really hoping for more of like a full-fledged playset. I'm still hoping for some vehicles. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so you can see the front of the box here. Shows the living room, shows the outside, also has, you know, printing for the house so that you could kind of look at it as a house from the front. I kind of wish the door opened, but again, doesn't look like that's going to happen. Packaging pretty standard for this line. Got Homer here, Maggie and Bart on the top. Over here we got Marge, and I got Lisa over here on this side. Homer kind of wraps around. Taking a look at the bottom, not really much going on here, but spinning around to the back shows that you can put the whole family on the couch, which is pretty cool. You would have to get that family multi-pack that I reviewed previously, and I'll put a link to that at the end of this video. And it does show off some of the features. It looks like there's an ejector seat on the couch. There's some plastic little platforms here that you can use to attach them and walk them around the living room. And it also boasts a lentacular TV. So we'll see how that goes. Down here showing off the single figures for the 2.5 line, as well as their 5-inch assortment that they have going on right now. So I'm pretty excited for this one. I'm going to go ahead, get everything out of the box and put together, and we'll take a closer look. So here is the living room diorama fully assembled. Assembly is very, very simple. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of take this stuff out of here for now so that we can take a look at everything. I'm going to take all these pieces out as well. So you can see this is what you get essentially as kind of like the main husk of the set. And the thing that I was actually surprised about, these are actually hard plastic, which is nice. I was afraid they were going to be purely cardboard, but they are not. The whole roof section here, this is all hard plastic. I guess the shrubs and the bushes here are molded on and then painted green. So that way you get like a little bit of texture with them there. These are all stickers, I would assume, but they look good. I have no problem with that. Over here on the side, you have kind of like a molded area for the chimney, but then a sticker over top of that. Stickers for the window. But again, the bushes are kind of molded on and painted. You have a little step here that's painted. I think, honestly, it looks pretty good from the front. If they did a bunch of these, you could definitely kind of put them next to each other to make kind of like a street scene. I think that could be really cool. I would also love if they sold some kind of placemat that looked like the yard. That way you could kind of like get the placemat, put this down, have a little bit of a yard here, and then like if they did Flanders house next, we could have like a little bit of yard space here and put that next to it, something like that. You could really build out a city. I think that could be really neat. But honestly, from the front, I think this is cool. It would be nice if the door opened, but the way this lines up, that would be opening into the middle of the room here, so that doesn't really make sense. So I think this kind of looks cool from the outside. If we spin back around to the inside here, so I don't think this is a sticker. I think this is maybe like a piece of cardboard that has been glued to the plastic. That's my best guess, because it doesn't feel like a sticker. And it looks a little bit thicker. So these on the outside are probably stickers, but this might be like a big piece of cardboard that's been glued to the back of the plastic. But it works. I think it's fine. You can see an entryway here into the kitchen. You have an entryway here into the front room. You have that sailboat picture. I think that works well. The rug here is 2 different stickers so that there's room for the track for these little plastic pieces to move around. And I think it's kind of cool. They have this one little kind of square here, and that kind of is a nice guide to set everything up. So the first thing we have is this little end table where Bart makes all of his crank calls to Moe's Tavern. You have a little side lamp there, and then a sticker here on the front for the drawer and some books, and that kind of nicely fits over top of that plastic square, and it's nice. It kind of keeps it from wiggling around. You can see how that just kind of keeps it nice in place there, but is also completely hidden by the item, so it's a nice guide for it, but it doesn't get in the way or look weird. And then you have the couch here, which of course will just slot in or just really side next to that. It doesn't have anything, like there's no other like physical prompts of where to put the things. They just kind of work out. And then you have this little lamp piece here. I guess technically this can swivel around here, and it can swivel around at the base because they're just mushroom pegs. But why would you need them to? There's really no reason. And this just kind of fits here in this back corner. Simple. So that's kind of nice. I think it works. I think these plastic accessories really kind of build out the room. We also have the TV, which I think looks great. And it does have that lenticular screen where it says Itchy and Scratchy. And then if you kind of tilt it, it looks like the name of the episode, House of Pain or This Old Mouse. So it just kind of goes back and forth between those two. I think the detailing and the paint on that is real nice. You have, of course, the rabbit ears. Back of the TV has some molding as well. So I think this was pretty nice. And you can just kind of sit this here wherever you like. There's no dedicated spot for that. But it makes a nice little playset. Honestly, like, you know, could it have more? Sure. But I think it works. I think it's fine. There are a couple of features here with the couch that I want to show off. There's actually one more than I thought. The packaging really just talks about launching, the one little gimmick of launching the cushion. But there's actually another button over here that will like spill them all out of the couch. So my guess is kind of like recreating, you know, the intro to every episode, how them getting on the couch is kind of different. You know, one of them might be like them all just falling off the couch, something like that. So you want to push that up, and then you have to kind of bring this piece down, and that kind of clicks it back into place. Otherwise, that one just does that. Now, as far as how well it works, if we take our Homer that was included, and we kind of bend him at the waist, he sits on the couch fairly decently, you know, no problem there. It is a little difficult with his arms because his body is so rotund. You can't really bring the arms closer to the body unless you bring them up past his kind of gut. But if we put this here, and then we kind of, that way we have space to hit the button, it doesn't fling them. I mean, it's not great. It's not terrible. Let me move these out of the way, and I can just kind of sit this here. So it doesn't really, like, I feel like it doesn't have enough oomph to it. I mean, it will move him, but it doesn't really fling him. Now, if we have him sit on here and we do this one, it will, it will like drop them off. So it's somewhat successful. It's not the best. It's a decent little feature. You have to kind of press it down and then release it. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I don't really need the features in the couch, to be quite honest. But they're neat. You know, it does something. I appreciate that. But really, I think it just kind of works to just kind of sit everything in here and just kind of have a play set. Because I think this would look cool on a shelf. You know what I mean? Just to kind of have this as a diorama. Or like I said, if they wanted to do something to make more of these and continue to build out a city, I think that could be a lot of fun as well. But real quick, I want to show that we can put the whole Simpsons family on here. So I have the multi-pack again, like I said, I did in a previous video, but now they don't sit on the couch the best. I mean, they do have a sitting crouch position, and they will go on the couch, but it's not like they peg in anywhere or anything like that. And because it's a smooth piece of plastic, they tend to move around a little bit, but it is possible to do. And we'll put Maggie on here, and then Marge. So they can all fit. Marge, I feel like, because she's got the dress, it's just a lot of smooth plastic, so it just wants to slide off the couch. But we can fit them all. All 5 members will fit on the couch. We can bring the dog and the cat in over here, chilling, however you want to do that. If you have any of the other characters, you know, Chief Wiggum could stop by, or maybe Flanders pops in from next door. So there's a lot of room in here, and I think that's kind of cool. You know, it works. I think you could get a bunch of figures in here. Now, you know, do you want to crowd this with as many figures as possible? Probably not. But you could put this on a shelf, and I think this kind of makes for a cool little display. And I think that kind of works. So, again, I wish it did a little bit more, but I'm happy with what it does. I didn't show off this feature here. It's a little weird. They have these tiny little pegs on the feet, and it's kind of difficult to get them to line up because they're so small. But if you can get a character on there, it just moves them around. It's not terribly exciting, but it does work. and that will move them around. So I don't really know why that was put in. I guess maybe they were just trying to come up with something else they could do. It's fine. It doesn't really get in the way of anything. I don't know how amazing it is, but it's okay. It's something. So between that and the couch features, that's kind of all the features that the playset has. But I think it's billed more as a diorama, and I think that makes more sense because that's kind of what it is. I was hoping for more of a playset, but I think this is a nice start. Depending on what they do in the future, they could expand it more. Depending on, if we got like a Moe's Tavern or something where they had the bar, I would want them to have some way to kind of attach to the stools because there's probably not a way that they would just sit on them. So I don't know. That's kind of stuff they'll have to figure out. But I'd love a Quickie Mart. I'd love a Moe's Tavern. There are so many iconic locations from The Simpsons. Maybe the power plant, Homer could be at work or something like that. So I think it's a nice start. I mean, the playset is $20. I think that's fair. There's a significant amount of plastic. You have the features in the couch and all those kinds of things. And I think it's a fair price. Honestly, I don't think... Could it be better? Sure. Is it perfectly fine? Yes. I mean, I would love, like I said, a full-on playset. I would love a whole house playset where you could put the car in the garage and there were more than one room, and the characters could be posed a little better around in terms of like how they attach to various furniture and things like that. But I understand kind of a tall order. So when the figures are kind of $5 a piece and then this playset is $20, I think that's in the realm of fairness. I think that works, and I think it makes for a nice little display piece. So I definitely think this is kind of cool. Very excited to see what they do in the future. But for now, it's a good starting point. And like I said, I really appreciate that these pieces are not just cardboard, because I was really afraid that was going to be the case. And I think this looks pretty good from the outside. I mean, this looks like their house. Like I said, I would love, a garage with a car. Maybe that's like an expansion they could do later on and that could hook to this. That's the thing. Like, there's no like connection ports or anything like that, but you could obviously just sit it right next to it. So if they wanted to do like a garage with a car, maybe that's like an addition they could do, and then you could just sit it next to it. That could be like something later on that they do. So I think there's lots of possibilities. I think it would be cool. I'm very excited to see where we go in the future. But real quick, before we wrap up, I want to compare this Homer to the ones from the previous releases. Alright, so we're going to play a game. Can you guess which Homer is which? You probably can. As far as I can tell, they're identical. This is the one that we just got with the diorama. One of these is from the family pack, and one of them is from the separate figures. Again, I don't know which one anymore because they're all identical. The only way I can tell this one's slightly apart is because the other two have this printing on the butt, and this one does not. So this one's a little bit cleaner, but otherwise they are exactly the same. And I wish they had done maybe like a different facial expression, or I would say a different color shirt, but that doesn't really make sense. Obviously, I think if they do, other sets like a Bowl-orama or something like that, he would have a bowling shirt. There are possibilities for things like that. I think we'll see other versions of the main characters, the family members, throughout the line, depending on how long it continues. But I don't know. It would have been nice to do something a little different. Like I said, maybe just a slightly different facial expression, or a unique accessory. Like the standalone release in the box, the 2.5 box single figures, didn't even come with an accessory or anything like that. The one in the family pack didn't have any accessories. This one doesn't either. So it would have been nice to just give us something. Like, at least when they did the Bart in the separate pack, he came with the skateboard. That was something. But yeah, as far as I can tell, these are identical, and I can't see any difference with the exception of the printing on the butt. I feel like I could do like a 3-card Monty. Like, okay, this one doesn't have a thing on the butt, and then just quick move them around. All right, which one has the printing on the butt? Pick now. Nope, not that one. Oh, it was that one. There you go. So, yeah, honestly, they're very, very similar. So I think this is pretty fun. Honestly, I think it's a decent value. I was surprised that these pieces here were hard plastic. I was really afraid that they were going to be cardboard, so I very much appreciate that. You have a couple of other plastic pieces here, like the end table, the couch, the lamp, the TV. I think they're all successful for building out the diorama. I think that works. The features of the couch are okay, honestly. They're not the best, but there's something. I understand that there wasn't really a ton they could do. Kind of the same way I feel about these little pieces at making the characters walk around. It's fine. It doesn't really get in the way. It doesn't super excite me, but it's okay. It's there. It adds something. I appreciate that. I like the TV. I think that really works. I like the way the screen is lenticular like that for the Itchy and Scratchy show. I think that's really cool. Maybe it's a little oversized. It's not terribly oversized because the Simpsons television is rather large. It's an older TV. Show did come out in the 80s. But, you know, maybe it's a little big. Maybe I would have downsized that ever so slightly, but that's a minor nitpick. The inclusion of Homer, again, like I said, if you're buying everything, this is probably your third Homer, or at least your second, because you probably at least got the family pack. I would have liked some, maybe just a different facial expression, just something a little different, just to make it fun to have more than one of these. But I get it. He's probably the most famous character from the show, so they're going to put him with everything. I get that. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it would have been fun to do some kind of maybe like Grandpa or something exclusive with this, some kind of character that, you know, would make you want to buy this, have an exclusive character with the diorama to incentivize you. But even if you just take Homer out of it, I still think that this is, you know, for $20, I think this is a decent offering. I think that the house looks good from the outside. I'm very interested to see what they could do if they start kind of building out the town, you know, have a main street or something like that. And then you could kind of put a bunch of these next to each other. I think that could be a lot of fun. But yeah, just for what this is, I think it's pretty cool. There's a lot of space. And the thing that I kind of naturally draw a comparison to, it reminds me of the World of Springfield line that Playmates did years ago. And I think those play sets or dioramas, whatever we want to call them, were a little bit smaller. I mean, some were larger, but the average size one was probably a little smaller, and the figures were a little larger. So for that, I think this is better because you definitely have a lot of space to fit your characters in here. You could put all the family members on the couch. You could still put a bunch of characters over here. There's a lot of space in this, and I think it's scaled well to the characters, so I appreciate that. The World of Springfield had like a little sound gimmick where I think all of the characters had like a pin system in their feet, and then you could connect it and it would play phrases. And that's neat, and they could have done something like that, but I think those characters suffered from lack of posability because of that. So I think I'd rather have the little posable figures. Plus, that's going to drive the price up, and I don't really need that, to be fair. But yeah, I think it's a fun offering. I really do. I think this is neat. I think it'll look good on a shelf, and I'm very interested to see what they give us in the future. I hope this line does well. I hope it continues. I want playsets. I want vehicles. I want as much as they can give us. This is pretty fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.